Hi Gemini, and welcome to your May energy forecast for 2017. I'm going to do an 8-card spread, messages to ourselves, mind, body, heart and soul, 2 messages from each. For the sign of Gemini, we've got a flyer of the 3 of Pentacles. Do we have to compromise in a situation this month? Do we have to invest time and energy with somebody else? Do we have to help somebody out? Is somebody going to help us out? Okay, 2 messages from Spirit. We have the 8 of Swords and the Empress. 2 messages for the physical. We have the 5 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. 2 messages for the heart. We have the 6 of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. And 2 messages from the soul with the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. So the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords talks about our thoughts. Blocking us. We can't see the truth in a situation because we've got so many things running around our head. We don't believe the truth in a situation because of our own doubts, our own self-fears, because our ego won't let us see the truth in a situation. This card talks all about our mental mind mash, the way we can let our mind run away with us and trap us into situations. It talks of change, but it talks of getting out of restrictive energies that we've put ourselves into. It talks about, at this point, having the realization and getting practical about how our thoughts control our own future. It does talk about putting up good boundaries, but good, healthy boundaries. Not putting up so many restrictions that we're binding ourselves to. It can talk about separation. It can talk about fears, our responsibilities, being in a place where we lack vision in our creativity, feeling stuck, feeling restricted, mentally restricted physically through our mental attitude as well. So Spirit wants us to be aware of these kind of mindsets and these kind of thoughts in the month of May. How are we restricting ourselves? What kind of self-talk do we have? How much self-love do we give ourselves? And that's right next to the Empress, which I would say, the Empress, Major Arcana, she's the mother of the tarot. She's the, could be the mother of the family, but it's the nurturing, it's the caring, it's the loving side of our nature. She talks about growth and nurturing. She talks about the home, but the home could be our body, ourselves. She does talk about fertility. And she does talk of kindness, consideration and generosity. But I think she's here to say it's time for self-nurturing on a spiritual level. It's time for self-nourishment, self-care, not letting the demands of everyone else take up your time by worrying about things, spending that time on nurturing your own physical being, and working on the growth that comes in this situation, the realisation of how we let our mind control our physical reality. In the physical, we have the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles talk about change, but this card talks about feeling left out in the cold, feeling omitted from something, feeling ignored or neglected in a situation. It talks about we might need support at this time, but if we do, we're looking in the wrong places. There is support there, and it's just behind him. Up here in this, he can come here and knock on this door, and there is support there for him. But a lot of the times, he's too stubborn to turn around and do that. Maybe it's fear of being rejected once he gets there. It does talk of feeling isolated, so maybe we are isolated for a while, Gemini, in the month of May, or we feel isolated. It can talk of having money problems, financial problems, or plain and simply being rejected in a situation. It can talk of going beyond our usual places to find support, so reaching out a bit further afield to different areas. We may be fearing losing a job at this time in the month. We may be fearing redundancy. And it may be we've come out of a relationship and we ended up at a financial loss. But there's some kind of decision that has to be made, and some kind of balance that's got to be found in the physical this month. So we may have walked away from something. We may have had a relationship break up. And it's left us in a position of having to make a decision over something. This card can say we've got a lot of uncertainty and we're not clear on which side to take in this battle, in this argument. It can talk about there being blocks. Maybe it's a lack of communication if we're isolated here. Are these what we've got to watch physically this month? That we don't isolate ourselves too much and cut all communication with others. There's tension and indecision about this situation, which, if we are feeling isolated or ignored by somebody or left out of a situation, we can expect. We could be locked in conflict and feeling like our opinion isn't important. If you look at both sides of this, I usually look at it logically and intuitively, and we can find the solution to this situation. Sometimes it's not actually us going through the confusion of the Two of Swords, but we're called in to mediate because two people cannot come together. So maybe there is a conflict around us in the month of May that we've got to mediate. Or we have to get a mediator in to make this reconnection here and to move this block. So we can choose. If it is down to something ourselves, we've got to look at both sides with a clear mind. That means getting rid of this mental blockage here to make the decision. We can't really make a good decision here until we've done that anyway. Messages from the heart. The first card we have is the Six of Pentacles. Now the Six of Pentacles talks about give and take, a nice flow of energy. What comes around goes around. What we put out into the world comes back to us. We can receive a gift. So is the heart saying there is a gift on the way? It can talk about finances improving. It can talk about helping somebody out, or somebody helping you out. It talks of compassion, a feeling of protection around it. Donating our time and our efforts could be the message here from heart. Be charitable in our physical environment. And that's paired with the Knight of Swords. Now the Knight of Swords, he talks about battles, confrontations, but he's also an unpredictable, rapid force. He can be unstable in situations, unstable. He can bring blocks to plans. But he's the seeker of truth. He wants to get to the bottom and find the truth, and he wants to speak his truth. He wants to live his truth. He's eager to go out and spread the word. He's eager to move forward. He could be a Gemini too. There could be a Gemini around us at the minute. Messages from the soul. We have the Ten of Wands. Look at what burdens we carry, what passions, how passionate we become about things, how many responsibilities we carry. We're at the 10, so it's a completion. We've done the full cycle here. It's a matter of just putting down the wands to start again. We can hit a point of being totally overwhelmed in this card. We've had far too much to do and far much to think about. The soul says it's now time to clear the workload, clear the burdens that we've got on top of us. It's looking at things from the bigger picture now. It does talk about setting some boundaries to reduce stress, and maybe the soul is telling us that there's a need to say no to some people around us. This Knight of Swords could be a younger heir energy, and it could be a child, and that is the soul telling us that even though we love them, it's got to be give and take in this situation. They can't just take, and we've got to learn to say no to them. And that's paired with the Two of Wands. Now the Two of Wands talks about a choice needing to be made. We have options in front of us, but we've got to make a choice on what we want to follow through on. It does talk about partnerships and creativity. It can be communication. Now we had no communication here in the Two of Swords. We had blockages, so maybe communication does open up, and things are looking better. It talks about broadening our horizons, finding people with the same mindset to expand. This guy can be seeking counsel as to which wand would give him the better options. Now he could be seeking counsel with himself, so we could be taking ourselves away with ourselves to consult ourselves over this choice we have to make. Now this can be regarding work, but it can also be regarding loving relationships, which could be family relationships too, which we mentioned earlier. But it's about sharing your vision with others with a view of advancing it. So coming out of the mental blocks and stagnation that we've put ourselves in with our thoughts, coming out of a mindset of having incurred a loss. If we have incurred a loss, putting that behind us. And moving on to the peace and the harmony that the Six of Pentacles promises, and still being willing and accept and release the flow of energy. Speculate to accumulate. And setting good boundaries. Completion of a cycle in burdens, responsibilities. We've done what we need to do. It's now time to start on a new passionate adventure. Quite a bit of mental energy, self-doubt and confusion. We need to make a decision or be a mediator in a situation, and we might be a little bit blunt in how we're expressing ourselves and our communication, but I don't think to too much detriment. Being a little bit hard and using his harsher logical words probably are what are needed to be able to put up these boundaries that we do need, these good healthy boundaries. Discuss and share the possibility of where you want to go, the new passionate desire with someone on the same wavelength, and maybe look in different places to find that person that you wouldn't normally look. But it's about growth and expansion throughout the month of May. So Gemini, I hope to see you again next time. Thanks for calling. Take care. Bye.